Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Sadia Yakubu. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channels 276. And now the news in details. The Kano State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has warned the Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development, Yusuf Abdullahi Atta, against making public statements that could undermine the party's unity. In a letter signed by the state chairman Abdullahi Abbas, the party faulted Atta's recent media remarks on internal matters and political aspirants, describing them as inappropriate and capable of creating tension within the party. The APC reminded the minister that only authorized officials are permitted to speak on party's affairs, pointing out that Atta holds no communication or public relation mandates. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has declared Monday as a day of fasting and prayer for peace and prosperity in the state and across Nigeria. The announcement was made when addressing newsmen on Saturday in Borno State, the state capital. The governor's call comes amid a spike in attacks targeting schools and religious institutions across northern Nigeria. Senator representing Kaduna Central in the 8th State Senate, Shehu Sani, has commended the rising wave of killings across Nigeria and calls for urgent unity and collective action from citizens of all faiths. He made the call at Interfaith Summit in Abuja, attended by Christian and Muslim clerics. Topsy Gimba reports.
At the gathering, Senator Shehu Sani lamented the persistent attacks claiming lives, especially in northern communities, describing the region as a killing field overrun by armed criminals groups. He said the summit itself sends a clear message urging religious leaders not only to speak frankly among themselves, but also make a strong appeal to government for decisive intervention.
I'm bringing you to speak to the power, to speak to those in the position of leadership and authority. Because the mistake we have always made in this country.
The senator questioned how bandits riding on motorcycles continue to terrorize vulnerable communities without consequence, stressing that Nigeria should not be an exception to global examples where Christians and Muslims coexist peacefully.
But our diversity is a blessing. And I can say this from my own personal experience. The nation of Ethiopia, they were Christians when Nigerians were worshiping idols. And they were Muslims when Nigerians were worshiping idols.
The Archbishop Pentecostal from Plateau State, James Majid, said it is time to confront the truth about the killings. He called on authorities to urgently seek external support, if necessary, to halt the violence.
We as Christians and Muslims have come together to say enough of this.
The chief imam of Kaduna Polytechnic, Mala Awaka Siddiq, emphasized that Nigeria is already in a wartime situation, urging Christians and Muslims to stand together and defend the nation's unity.
That does not stop us from practicing our own different faiths. A Christian will practice his own, faith in his own Christian way, and the Muslims also. So there must be that, unity and diversity.
Participants at the summit, organized by the Africa Freedom Foundation YARI, AFF, proposed various approaches to end the insecurity bedeviling the country. Topsy Gimba reporting for Global Television News.
Niger State Governor Muhammad Umar Bago has directed that all schools across the state should be shut down until after the new year, while the schools in the security-affected areas in the state should be shut down until further notice. The governor stated these while fielding questions from newsmen in Mina after a security and stakeholders meeting in Government House over the current security situation in the state. According to the governor, they include private and public schools, Islamic and missionary schools, federal government colleges, and some tertiary institutions like schools of nursing and midwifery. The First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has urged women to embrace small beginnings as they pursue financial and digital empowerment. Oluremi made this known at the closing ceremony of the 2025 Renewed Hope Initiative and National Information Technology Development Agency Women Training Empowerment Program. Ubong Usoro reports.
The First Lady encouraged participants to remain confident in their abilities, stressing that growth often starts with modest steps. She said excellence, consistency, and determination naturally draws opportunities and support. She noted that a total of 607 women have been trained under the program, applauding the 2025 cohort for their dedication and willingness to learn new skills that can transform their lives and communities.
I encourage you to apply the skills you have learned, pursue continuous growth, and mentor other women and girls to embrace opportunities in the digital space.
Highlighting the significant contribution women make in Nigeria's digital space, the Director General, National Information Technology Development Agency (NITDA), Kashifu Abdullahi, reaffirmed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's commitment to building an inclusive digital economy where women are equipped to lead. He revealed that 320 trainees from all 6 geopolitical zones received brand new laptops and 200,000 seed funding, ensuring that they have both the knowledge and the tools to begin their digital journeys.
We must prioritize human capital development, especially for women. When we empower women, we empower families. When we empower families, we empower our communities. When our communities are empowered, we drive national prosperity and inclusivity.
The event ended with widespread optimism as beneficiaries expressed readiness to apply their new skills and contribute to a future where Nigerian women can rise, innovate, and excel in technology. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
The Bishop of the Catholic Kontagora Diocese, Bulus Dawa Yohana, says the total number of victims abducted by suspected terrorists from the St. Mary's Catholic Primary and Secondary Schools, Papiri in Aguara local government area of Niger State is now 303 students and 12 teachers. Yohana, who is also Niger's chairman of the Christian Association of Nigerian, CAN, says this update was done after a final verification exercise and census was carried out. The Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare has described attempted suicide as national public health emergency, which needs to be looked into with a view to find solutions to end it. The National Secretary of the National Task Force on Discriminalization of Attempted Suicide, Dr. Ojo Tunde, disclosed this during a sensitization engagement meeting on discriminalization of attempted suicide in Nigeria at the National Assembly for the Stars. Zara Nasir reports.
It was a gathering of the staff of the National Assembly, together with non-governmental organizations working on mental health as well as civil society organizations and some from other relevant fields. The National Secretary of the Task Force on Decriminalization of Suicide, Dr. Ojo Tunde, says the aim of the meeting is to interact with staff of the National Assembly to sensitize them on the progress made so far on suicide decriminalization.
If you want to take your life, it is a criminal thing that should be punished. But what the evidence has also shown is that the fear of, if we decriminalize attempted suicide, is going to make it more rampant. It doesn't worth its salt. No evidence has shown that when we decriminalize attempted suicide, that such goes up.
While delivering his speech, the clerk to the Committee on Specialty Healthcare of the National Assembly, Toadu Yussi, says the sensitization meeting will help the align both in the Senate and National Assembly to get to understand more the content of a bill that's coming up seeking to decriminalize attempted suicide in Nigeria.
He approved that we have this engagement to sensitize staff about a bill that's been drafted that is coming from the executive seeking to decriminalize attempted suicide in Nigeria. So the relevance of this engagement is help our line staff.
While presenting his paper on suicide, the president of the Association of Psychiatrists, Professor Teo Obindo, in Nigeria says it's high time for Nigeria to decriminalize attempted suicide in the country, as it's among the few countries still criminalizing it.
Amongst the countries around the world, even within the African setting, we are one of the few countries left who is still criminalizing that attempted suicide. We know that one of the drivers for people to want to complete the act is this criminal aspect of the law.
The sensitization program, which was interactive, shed more light on the upcoming bill seeking to decriminalize attempted suicide in Nigeria. Zahra Unasir, reporting for Global TV News.
Nobowale Soyinka has strongly criticized United States President Donald Trump's latest comments on Nigerians, describing them as misleading and dangerously insensitive. He warned that Trump's remarks not only distort the nation's security challenges, but also risk deepening religious tensions. Global Television's Benue State correspondent Felicity Ndiri reports that Soyinka made the remarks during a courtesy visit to Governor Hyacinth Alia at the government house in Makurdi.
According to Wale Soyinka, Trump's labeling of Nigeria as a country of particular concern and his threat of possible military intervention over alleged persecution of Christians failed to reflect the complex realities of Nigerians' insecurity. He said the conflicts in many parts of the country are rooted in criminality, land disputes, governance failures, and socio-economic pressures, not targeted religious persecution, as Trump suggested.
I have some difficulties. I will not accept aid from a madman. That's all I'm doing. And my definition of a madman, or woman for that matter, is one who, when he or she says, I'm helping you, is actually complicating.
In response, Governor Hyacinth Alia dismissed the allegations as inaccurate and harmful. He emphasized that victims of insecurity cut across Christians, Muslims and traditional worshippers, stressing that violence in Nigeria does not discriminate by religion. Governor Alia maintained that what the country needs is international support grounded in facts, not comment that could escalate diversion or misrepresent experiences of its citizens.
So I never denied that my people were killed. I still remain very firm that we have bandits, we have terrorists who come fully organized and destroy people, maim, kill. And the last time we had checked, as I have been consistently again, as I have been religiously stating.
The meeting ended with a joint call for responsible global engagement and a deeper understanding of Nigerian security situation. Both leaders affirmed that the nation's challenges required informed solutions, not oversimplified narratives.
Abuja, Nigeria's capital city, is often known for its politics, its power players, and its polished daytime calm. But when the sun goes down, a very different side of the city emerges, one full of color, sound, energy, and a thriving culture of food, music, and late-night adventures. Our correspondent takes us into the heart of the Federal Capital Territory to explore the unique sights and sound of Abuja after dark.
From the shimmering lights of Central Business District to the bustling corners of Wuse, Gwarimpa, and Maitama, Abuja transforms into a vibrant playground once daylight fades. Aminu Kano Crescent, arguably the heartbeat of Abuja's nightlife, from high-end lounges to roadside grids, this district comes alive with young professionals, creatives, tourists, and night crawlers, all looking for the perfect blend of relaxation and entertainment. People come here from 7 p.m. all the way to 2 or 3 in the morning. Some just want food, some want a conversation. Nighttime is their peak period. For party lovers, the city offers everything from rooftop lounges with breathtaking views to underground clubs where emerging DJs and artists test new sounds. Abuja nightlife is chilled but fun. You meet people from everywhere, diplomats, students, entrepreneurs. The vibe is different every night. While nightlife continues to boom, many residents say reliable late-night transportation and better lighting in some areas could make the experience even fast, safer, and more accessible. Whether it's food, music, culture, or community, one thing is clear: Abuja nightlife is growing, evolving, and reshaping the identity of Nigeria's capital. Abuja nightlife continues to be a reflection of the city's diversity, ambition, and youthful spirit. From quiet evenings to high-energy parties, the capital truly never sleeps. Sadia Yakubu, reporting for Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of AM News. When AM News returns, Trump's ally Green resigns from United States Congress. Details coming shortly, plus business and foreign stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from that short break. And in business news, with the federal government set to introduce a new tax framework in 2026, the debate on Nigeria's economy direction has intensified as citizens express sharp, conflicting views over what the reforms will mean for the daily lives. Kabir Hassan took to the streets of Abuja to sample public opinion.
The proposed 2026 tax policy aims to make tax payment compulsory for every eligible Nigerian, as government pushes for wider compliance to boost national revenue. But on the streets of Abuja, the nation's capital, concerns are mounting. Many residents are uncertain whether the new measures will ease the pressure on the economy or compound hardship already facing millions.
Tax reform bill, it can never be impactful to Nigerians.
And the issue of tax is a very good thing. But in Nigeria today, let us be frank to ourselves, it's not going to be of any benefit to the masses.
I don't think it can be of any immense importance to the Nigerian citizens.
About the tax, I really did not say anything bad yet.
To some Nigerians, the policy is a necessary step to strengthen government finances, improve infrastructure, and enhance service delivery. They argue that an organized and inclusive tax system could drive national development if properly managed.
Going to do at the end of the day, is there any way to monitor that tax, to see that that tax goes into the right places? That's what we should be talking about.
We pay tax, we are not seeing the effect of tax we are paying. At least we are supposed to see it on social amenities, on health, on education.
It's leadership, it's corruption. Nigeria is blessed with a lot of resources. So it's corruption, it's leadership malfunction.
However, others strongly disagree, warning that citizens are already overwhelmed by rising costs, high inflation, and stagnant wages. To them, introducing additional tax obligation without visible improvement in governance may further strain household budgets.
So what are we channeling these tax reforms to? It's not about doing tax, it's where is it going to? Is there a credible way to see that, okay, this is where the tax is going to, or you just collect tax and then they still...
People are suffering, people cannot afford basic amenities, and we are introducing tax. I don't think it will go a long way in solving the problem of the ordinary Nigerian citizens.
Policy our president is bringing is, I know it's going to be helpful. If other past presidents might have done all this before, we will not be facing the challenge now. So
as government efforts towards a more compliant tax system continue, public sentiment remains deeply divided. Nigerians say what they expect most is fairness, transparency, and a tax structure that aligns with the true state of economy. Kabir Hassan, reporting for Global TV News.
The House of Representatives has issued a strong warning to government agencies and stakeholders involved in the Naira for crude oil policy, giving them just 7 days to comply with its request or face sanctions. National Assembly correspondent Anita Patrick reports.
The ad hoc committee investigating the implementation of the policy says it is fed up with what it describes as gross negligence from invited agencies who fail to appear or submit key documents. Chairman of the committee, Boniface Emerengwa, announced the ultimatum after a scheduled investigative hearing collapsed due to the absence of key stakeholders.
We want to look at the various stakeholders, their complaints, their challenges. At this stage, we will request that you turn in your documents if they are available.
The committee revealed that many of the MDAs had ample notice but still ignored requests for documents needed to vet the Naira for crude policy, an initiative with major implications for Nigeria's economy. Emerengwa warned that the committee will not hesitate to invoke full legislative powers on defaulting agencies.
Let it be known to all stakeholders that failure to comply with this extended deadline will attract severe sanction. This committee will not hesitate to invoke its full legislative powers, including but not limited to issuance of summons, public naming, and shaming of non-compliant entities.
The committee, however, extended the submissions deadline to November 22nd, 2025, stressing that this is the last chance for compliance. The investigative hearing has now been postponed to December 2nd, 2025 as final and non-negotiable. From the National Assembly, Anita Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
On the foreign scene, United States lawmaker Marjorie Taylor Greene, an influential right-wing figure, and MAGA has announced that she is quitting her seat in the Congress. This is coming 1 week after President Donald Trump pulled his support for the former stunt ally. The 51-year-old Republican congresswoman from Georgia, who was elected in 2020, said she had always been despised in Washington, D.C. and never fits in. United States President Donald Trump and New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani struck a surprisingly warm tone after their first face-to-face meeting at the White House, despite Trump previously attacking him as a communist and threatening funding cuts during the campaign. Both men described the talk as productive, discussing affordability, housing, and public services, with Trump even stepping in to defend Mamdani as reporters pressed him on past criticisms and libel. The meeting capped Mamdani's historic rise as New York's first Muslim mayor, with Trump congratulating him on a record-breaking victory and pledging to help him deliver a safer, stronger city. And in sport, Chelsea stepped up their Premier League title challenge with a gritty 2-0 win against a struggling Burnley on Saturday. Pedro Neto put the Blues ahead just before the interval as Tormor and Enzo Fernandez netted in the closing stages. Enzo said climbed to second place, sitting 3 points behind leader Arsenal, who hosts Tottenham on Sunday. Napoli's president will stand trial in December 2026 over alleged false accounting involved in the transfer of Victor Osimhen and Costa in what prosecutors call a major financial manipulating case. Italian investigation alleged player violations were inflated with Osimhen's deal, including youth player priced at nearly €2 million, despite questionable documentations and Osimhen's claim they barely understood the past contract. Napoli rejects the charges, insisting their accounting is accurate and backed by independent reporters. And that's it on AM News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365 and Star Times, channels 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using at Global TV NG. I am Sadia Yakubu saying thank you for watching.